Archaeology is a pretty fascinating field. Sometimes it's careful excavation. Other times, it's pure luck. And then there are the findings that leave even the experts speechless. Lost cities, cryptic artifacts, bodies where they shouldn't be. History has a way of keeping secrets. Some of these discoveries changed everything we thought we knew, while others just made the past even weirder. So, if you're ready for a journey through the most mind-blowing, logic-defying, and downright bizarre finds ever unearthed, then stay tuned, because in this video, we'll be diving into 15 unbelievable archaeological finds that will make you question everything. Let's start off with number 15, Stonehenge. Stonehenge is one of those ancient wonders that everyone recognizes, yet almost no one fully understands. It sits there in the rolling fields of southern England, looking all majestic and mysterious, and despite being studied for centuries, it still refuses to give up all its secrets. For starters, when exactly was it built? Estimates range from 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, but there's no consensus on the exact timeline. Then there's the bigger mystery. Who built it and why? The civilization responsible left little to no trace of themselves outside of this huge ring of standing stones, making them a mystery in their own right. And let's talk logistics. How on earth did they move those multi-ton stones without modern tools, cranes, or even the wheel? Theories include everything from giant wooden sleds to boats carrying them upriver, yes, water transport, and of course, the ever-popular alien hypothesis. The trust is over in black paint. Until someone finds definitive proof, it can be you also, the mystery of Stonehenge remains as rock-solid as ever. Number 14, Sacsayhuaman. Perched high in Cusco, Peru, Sacsayhuaman is one of the most mind-bending feats of ancient engineering. At first, historians thought it was a fortress, but later evidence suggested it was a ceremonial site. Either way, its construction is what really makes jaws drop. The massive stone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, fit together with insane precision, so tightly that you can't even slide a piece of paper between them. And here's the kicker: they used no mortar. How did the Incas manage to carve and transport these massive stones, let alone fit them together like a perfect jigsaw puzzle? Even modern builders would struggle with this. To make things weirder, the stones aren't uniform in shape, suggesting the workers designed as they built, adjusting each piece in real time. Add in the mystery of how they moved these monoliths across rugged terrain, and you've got yourself an ancient engineering enigma that refuses to be solved. Number 13, Thonis Heracleion. For centuries, the great port city of Thonis Heracleion was nothing more than a name in ancient texts, a place whispered about in legends. Then, in the early 2000s, a team of divers stumbled upon something massive beneath the waves, an entire city perfectly preserved, lying under the Mediterranean Sea. This 2,700-year-old city was once Egypt's gateway to the Mediterranean, a bustling trade hub before Alexandria existed. Underwater explorers found bridges, colossal 16-foot statues, animal sarcophagi, and an entire urban landscape frozen in time. But here's the mystery. How does a whole city disappear into the sea? Archaeologists believe a deadly combo of earthquakes, tsunamis, and rising sea levels caused the land to liquefy, swallowing the city between the 1st century BCE and 800 CE. Yet, there's still a lot we don't know. Was this a slow, creeping disaster, or a single catastrophic event? One thing's for sure. Thonis Heracleion is one of the greatest lost cities ever found. Number 12, the Tsinghua Bamboo Strips. In 2008, Tsinghua University in Beijing received an unusual gift, a box full of ancient bamboo strips covered in Chinese calligraphy. At first, it looked like an unreadable mess, but when researchers painstakingly pieced them together, they uncovered something extraordinary. a multiplication table written over 2,300 years ago. This wasn't just any math table. It was the earliest known decimal times table in history, proving that the Chinese were using advanced mathematical concepts long before many other civilizations. These strips predate even the famous Greek and Babylonian math systems, completely reshaping our understanding of ancient number crunching. But the bigger mystery? Who wrote it and why? Was it a teaching tool for scholars, a merchant's quick reference guide, or something else entirely? The discovery confirmed that early Chinese mathematics was centuries ahead of its time, but the story behind these bamboo strips remains an intellectual puzzle still waiting to be solved. Well, you can try. Number 11. The misplaced skull that rewrote human history. In 2015, researchers uncovered something shocking in a cave in Israel, a 60,000-year-old human skull that wasn't supposed to be there. At that time, most fossil evidence of early humans pointed to Africa, supporting the out of Africa theory, the idea that modern humans originated in Africa and then migrated outward. But this skull complicated things. Its age and location suggested that some early humans might have left Africa earlier than we thought, or had already been mixing with other groups before migrating to Europe and Asia. The discovery sent scientists into a frenzy. Was this skull from a group that successfully migrated to Europe, or was it a lost branch of human history that never made it? Since then, even older evidence of modern humans has emerged, forcing researchers to rethink the timeline of human evolution. This lone skull may not have all the answers, but it definitely changed the questions. Number 10. Machu Picchu. It looks straight out of a fantasy novel, a breathtaking stone city perched nearly 8,000 feet above sea level, hidden in the Peruvian Andes. Welcome to Machu Picchu, one of the most famous and mysterious archaeological sites on Earth. Built in the 15th century, this stunning Inca citadel was likely constructed for Pachacuti, the 9th Incan ruler. But here's the problem. The Incas never wrote things down. There's no official record of why it was built, what it was called, or what happened to its inhabitants. We do know it was abandoned after the Spanish conquest, but unlike other Incan cities, the Spanish never found it. Instead, nature slowly reclaimed the site until Hiram Bingham rediscovered it in 1911. Now, over a century later, Machu Picchu still holds on to its secrets, why it was built, who lived there, and whether more hidden chambers still remain undiscovered beneath its stones. All right, guys, now, let's talk about Number 9. The Dead Sea Scrolls. In the mid-1940s, 3 men stumbled upon some old parchment tucked away in a cave near the Dead Sea and accidentally changed history. What they found became known as the Dead Sea Scrolls, an ancient collection of texts dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE. The scrolls include early versions of the Hebrew Bible, along with other religious texts that were never canonized, including the apocalyptic Book of Enoch. Here's the wild part. No one knows exactly who wrote them. Some believe they were the work of the Essenes, a Jewish sect that lived in isolation. Others think they were hidden away by priests escaping the destruction of the Second Temple. Either way, these scrolls completely reshaped religious scholarship, offering new insights into ancient beliefs, practices, and lost traditions. And yet some scrolls remain untranslated, their meanings still locked away. So, what other religious secrets are hiding in those caves? Number 8. Mohenjo-Daro. With a name that translates to Mound of the Dead Men, you'd expect Mohenjo-Daro to have a creepy backstory. But the real mystery isn't what happened there, it's what happened to it. Built around 2500 BCE, this ancient city in modern-day Pakistan was once a bustling metropolis of the Indus Valley civilization, home to around 40,000 people. It had planned streets, complex drainage systems, and advanced architecture, a level of sophistication that rivaled ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt. But then, between 1900 and 1700 BCE, it was abandoned. No one knows why. Was it a natural disaster, or something more catastrophic? Unlike other great civilizations, the Indus people left no written records to explain what happened. Mohenjo-Daro remained buried under the desert until its rediscovery in 1919, and to this day, the true fate of this advanced city remains one of archaeology's greatest unsolved mysteries in Pakistan. Number 7. The Stone Spheres of Costa Rica. Deep in the jungles of Costa Rica, perfectly round stone spheres sit scattered like someone was preparing for the world's most intense game of marbles. Ranging from the size of a baseball to over 2 meters in diameter, these bizarre spheres were first discovered in the 1930s when the jungle was being cleared for banana plantations. We know they were created by the Deciphering people between 500 to 1500 CE, but that's about where the facts end and the speculation begins. How did they carve them so perfectly? And more importantly, why? Some theories suggest they were status symbols, marking important locations or social hierarchies. Others believe they were astronomical tools, aligned with celestial events. And of course, the more imaginative explanations involve aliens or long-lost civilizations. To make things even more frustrating, the Deciphering left no written records, nothing to explain the purpose of these spheres or how they managed to craft them with such precision. So unless we uncover some long-lost blueprint for how to make a perfect stone sphere on Google, this mystery stays unsolved. Can you solve it? Number 6. Casa Grande Ruins. Somewhere in Coolidge, Arizona, an ancient 4-story structure stands in the middle of the desert, looking like a prehistoric apartment complex. This is Casa Grande, a marvel of Native American architecture built around 1350 CE by the Hohokam people, a civilization that thrived in the region long before European contact. The main question? Why was it built? Theories range from astronomical observatory, thanks to their alignment with solar and lunar cycles, to ceremonial centers, trading hubs, or administrative headquarters. Unfortunately, with no written records and no clear evidence, every theory remains just that, a theory. And then there's the strangest part. The Hohokam suddenly abandoned the site around 1450 CE. Some say they left due to drought or resource depletion, while others speculate it was a result of internal strife or outside pressures. But in reality, no one knows for 100% surely. Whatever happened, the mystery of Casa Grande and its sudden disappearance still puzzles archaeologists today. Number 5. Antikythera mechanism. If you thought the first computer was built in the 20th century, well, think again. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a Greek shipwreck in 1901, is proof that ancient engineers were way ahead of their time. At first glance, it looked like a rusted pile of gears, but once researchers X-rayed the thing, they realized it was a complex mechanical device dating back as far as 150 BCE, potentially the oldest known analog computer. Its intricate system of bronze gears and dials appears to have been used to track celestial events, predicting solar eclipses and moon phases with astonishing accuracy. But here's the kicker. We still don't know who made it. The level of engineering skill required to build something this advanced suggests that whoever designed it wasn't just smart. They were centuries ahead of their time. No other devices like it have ever been found, making it a total technological anomaly. Did we lose an entire branch of ancient knowledge? Did someone somehow figure out precision engineering in a world without machines? Until another one turns up, the Antikythera mechanism remains one of history's greatest tech mysteries. Number 4. Lucy. The 20th century was a game-changer for paleoanthropology, but few discoveries shook up our understanding of human evolution like Lucy. In 1974, researchers digging in Ethiopia unearthed a set of bones over 3 million years old. And since it was the 70s, they named her after the Beatles' song, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. But this wasn't just any fossil. Lucy was nearly half of a female Australopithecus afarensis skeleton, making her one of the most complete early human ancestors ever found. And she had a story to tell. Her bones proved that our ancestors walked on two legs before their brains grew larger, fundamentally changing the timeline of human evolution. Lucy's discovery redefined how we see our ancient past, and to this day, she remains one of the most important fossils in history. Not bad for someone who spent 3.2 million years buried in the dirt. Number 3. The Rosetta Stone. Some artifacts change history, and the Rosetta Stone is one of them. Dating back to 196 BCE, this granite slab wasn't created to be famous. It was simply a decree issued by Egyptian priests, confirming the right of the 13-year-old pharaoh Ptolemy V to rule. But what made it legendary wasn't what it said, but how it said it. The decree was written in 3 scripts: hieroglyphic, Demotic, and Greek. When the stone was discovered in 1799 by a French military expedition under Napoleon, scholars could already read Greek, which meant they had a direct translation of the mysterious Egyptian writing. Over time, this breakthrough allowed hieroglyphs to be deciphered, unlocking the entire world of ancient Egyptian texts. After Napoleon's defeat, the British took possession of the stone, and today, it sits in the British Museum. But Egypt has long called for its return home, arguing that this key to their history belongs where it was first written. Number 2. King Tut's tomb. Every archaeologist dreams of making the next big discovery, but few strike gold like Howard Carter did in 1922. After years of dead ends, Carter finally uncovered King Tutankhamun's tomb, thanks to an accidental trip over a hidden staircase by his water boy. Tutankhamun, or King Tut, ruled from 1332 to 1323 BCE during Egypt's 18th dynasty. His tomb wasn't the biggest or the most extravagant, but what made it legendary was what was inside: an untouched burial chamber packed with incredible artifacts. There were intricately decorated treasures, burial goods, and most famously, Tut's golden death mask, one of the most iconic artifacts ever found. King Tut's unexpectedly well-preserved tomb gave historians an unparalleled look into the luxury, rituals, and art of ancient Egypt. And even a century later, the boy king's resting place remains one of the most famous archaeological finds of all time. Number 1. The world's oldest figurative art. Art has been part of human expression for tens of thousands of years, but some of the earliest known figurative art lies deep within the Maros Pangkep karst caves of Indonesia. Excavated in the 1970s, these caves contain handprints and animal paintings that completely rewrite what we thought we knew about prehistoric creativity. The oldest known image, a Celebes warty pig, is at least 45,500 years old, while nearby handprints date back 40,000 years. That means humans were creating representational art long before civilization even existed. For comparison, Spain's Cave of Maltravieso, previously thought to contain the oldest handprints, was found 20 years earlier. But these Indonesian paintings pushed the origins of art even further back in time. These discoveries don't just give us evidence of ancient artistic ability, they give us a rare, almost intimate glimpse into the minds of our distant ancestors. If you find this video interesting, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.